Hi everyone. Welcome to my brand new podcast called the Practice Room Procrastination podcast. The name is still a little bit of a workshop, but I just wanted to try try this because I always talk to my friend about wanting to do a podcast because I just feel like my life is kind of crazy. It's been kind of crazy. So just talking about it, I feel like that would be kind of fun and just talking about the different things that I've gotten to do. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Lewis, and I am a saxophonist. I've been playing saxophone for 6 years, but I've been in music and I've been around music like my entire life. So it's always been like a big part of me. Um, for this first podcast, I think I'm gonna do like a little bit of a structure. So I have intro, background, the instruments I play, the instructors I've had, my accomplishments, and my goals for the future. So, like I said, Lewis, um, I'm from Mississippi. I lived in Mississippi for 13 years. In the last 5 years, I moved here to Louisiana, where my passion for music really took off because of just the crazy diversity and talent that's here at Louisiana is actually so inspiring. So it really pushed me to be more than I thought that I could ever be just playing the saxophone. And I'm really proud of that. Let's see. Yeah, all my family's from Mississippi. So yeah, and they're all sports people. So when I told them that I wanted to do music, and I'm 6'2", by the way, they all kind of like laughed a little. But then they saw how serious that I was taking it and how I saw how it was something that I was going to be very diligent about. And so they kind of put more faith in me, and I'm very grateful for all of them for doing that. Um, yes. Oh, another thing, I found out the other day when I went back to visit my family that my grandfather was a blues singer. He used to sing the blues. I'm like, ain't tell nobody that. I didn't hear that from nobody. But now I know where my interest for music comes from. So, all right, that's like my intro, my background, instruments I play. I first started out on the saxophone, right? It was alto saxophone. And then later I also picked up tenor. The second instrument that I learned how to play, I'm pretty sure, was flute. And mind you, this was like a small rural Mississippi town. So they didn't really have a lot of instruments, a lot of people that were like really into music. And so I had to practice a lot on my own time, and I didn't really start taking lessons. I took lessons a little bit, so that kind of got me ahead, but not really because there's only so much you can learn like your first couple of months and year or so of learning an instrument. So I really started picking up lessons when I moved to Louisiana. But yeah, I played saxophone, flute, and bassoon. Fun fact, my first ever honor band that I did in seventh grade, I played bassoon. I didn't make it on saxophone. And I was so upset that I didn't make it on saxophone because I practiced that a lot. But come to find out, I think it was just my saxophone was just bad. And so my tone was bad and my intonation was bad. And I didn't know that. My family didn't know that. So there wasn't really, I just thought I was bad. I thought I was bad. But yeah, after that, I did the honor band on bassoon and I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I started practicing bassoon more. But unfortunately, I don't play anymore today because ain't nobody got time for that. anyways, yes, so that's the instruments I played. And then I moved here in eighth grade. So I spent like a year or two in the band, about 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years in the band before I moved here. And I played saxophone. But um, we moved during the pandemic. So it was also kind of like I was alone a lot, like it was just me and my mom and my brother. So I spent a lot of time during the pandemic practicing. I went and bought like A2 books and stuff when we were able to go out, with masks and stuff. And I bought A2 books and Advanced Methods for Saxophone. I remember that book. The piece all the way in the excuse me. The piece all the way in the back of that book was the first piece that like the hardest piece I had played at that point, and it was also the first one that I kind of finished all the way. And so that was so I was so proud of myself. Now I'm looking back to that, I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's it wasn't that hard, but I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself. I was like, yes, look at you. But also something that I hadn't really considered at that point, but was kind of like, speaking to me was composition. Um, I had always loved singing and, like just being in music. But when I started band, it started to quantify the things that I was feeling and the expressions that I would get through music. And I learned about scales, I learned about keys, I learned about harmony, I learned about jazz. That was I always heard the blues. I would always hear the blues and like gospel hymns and stuff. But the world of jazz is like a experimentation on the themes of the blues and the jazz. I mean, the blues and the blues and gospel. And so, yeah, once I heard of like jazz, I think the first jazz tune I heard of was probably Giant Steps. I think it was Giant Steps because that's like one of the popular ones. So, a lot of people talked about that. And obviously I couldn't play it, but I listened to like kind of Blue Miles Davis with oh God. Y'all please, please my jazz. Please have mercy on me with the jazz. I remember one album that I found was Sunny Side of the Street, I think, with Johnny Hodges. And I just love the way Johnny Hodges sounds on alto. Hold on. Yes, Johnny Hodges. I believe he played with Charlie Parker as well. Used to be Duke. No, he probably played with Duke Ellington. My bad. My bad. My bad, bro. My bad. Yeah, used to be Duke. I love that album. And I think yeah, he was like I mean, I love Charlie, but like he was the one that was like, dang, jazz, bro, like jazz. And I loved it. I loved it. And so, you know, back to composing. I'm sorry, that was a little rant. Back to composing, but exploring different avenues that I could take with music. And obviously, your first couple of compositions aren't perfect, but because we were in quarantine, I felt okay sounding bad, and I felt okay because no one's gonna judge me. Like if I put it out there, no one's gonna judge me. You know, um, And because I had that ability to make mistakes and learn what I liked and learn what I didn't like and watch videos of people talking about how to get effects and how to get sounds, a lot of orchestration videos. I don't have an orchestration book, but I really need to go buy one because I love that topic. I love the topic of orchestration and what instruments can do what and how to push and pull. Um and because I was in band, a lot of the instruments that I composed for were wind and percussion instruments. So I didn't really get to work with vocal or strings that much. But that is an avenue that since I'm here in music school at Southeastern, I want to try exploring more. Um, Especially vocal music. I would think there's so much behind that, so much history, so much power, so much, um, things you can explore with vocal music, and it's really beautiful to me. So, here at Southeastern, we do have a gospel choir. So, eventually, I am going to get in touch or just go to a couple of the choir rehearsals and just see how I can get involved because I do love vocal music a lot. Um, but yeah, I think one of the first pieces so this is like the transition point for me coming to Mississippi to Louisiana when I start composing. One of the first pieces that I really put out there for other people to play was a piece called Hot, Hotter, Hottest, right? Um, and my friends, My friends played it for me, and I directed it. I went through the rehearsal for it, and I learned so much. Thank you to Mr. Castleberry. I think he's getting his doctorate at LSU right now. Either that or he graduated already. Thank you for allowing me to stay after school and learn how to have a rehearsal, learn how to run a rehearsal, learn how to be ready for rehearsal, because that is things that a lot of people don't get experience with until they get to college. And it's like at college, you're already at a level where you're expected to be able to do this. You're expected to be able to schedule. You're expected to be able to engage with different types of personalities to be able to still get a really good end product. You're expected to be able to perform at a professional level. If you're in an ensemble, you know, and you can't let petty things like, interfere with the music, because it eventually is going to interfere with you, you know? And there was a lot of issues because we're all eighth graders. No one has a car. People have homework. We're all worried about high school, you know? Um, and I learned so much from that. I learned so much from that. But thank God that I took the initiative to go and find people that were willing to put the time and effort into my piece. Um, hotter hottest. Let me see if I can remember the lineup. It was Emily Payne on piccolo, Lisa on flute, Mars Odom on clarinets, Jacob Weber on French horn, and Claire Flanagan on bassoon. I know, right? A very interesting lineup. Oh, and then Bree DeSales on alto. My bad, Bree. Um, it was a very interesting lineup, and it was a very interesting piece. But then I can hear the type of music that I really like. I like a lot of polygamy. Paul, oh my god, oh my god. What's the word I'm looking for? Not polytonality. Not that. Pol, po, po. It's when like a bunch of instruments play at the same time. Good lord. Okay. I'm trying to look up this word, but yeah, I can tell. I just didn't know how to make it interesting. For each part, um, polyphony, polyphony, polyphony. Yeah, polyphonic. There we go. Polyphonic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, polyphonic music. I really was into that. I like how you can hear things within other things and what's presented to you as different layers to it. And I absolutely adored that type of music. And I was, you know, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to get there. And so after learning how to rehearse and over the years in high school, I did other compositions. I learned how to really be very detailed about what I was hearing in my head and how to work it out, you know? And after that, I just, you know, I kind of locked in. And this year, um I guess we're moving on to, okay, before I do accomplishments, I need to do instructors. So, my first ever band instructor is was Miss Russo, and she's not teaching middle school band anymore. I believe she moved to high school because she stopped like school for a little bit to go and get her master's degree. Excuse me. And so after she did that, I believe she's teaching high school now. But I loved her. I loved her. She's the one that really like gave me that love for music. Now, my second teacher was Miss Long. Mind you, these are both flute teachers. I mean, flute, players. That was their main instrument. Miss Long, she put the fire in me. I believe she came very structured to class, and that's what I needed. I had the love for music. I just needed the structure. And so after having the structure, that's when I started really blossoming as a musician. And so I think both of them, because youth music education is extremely important. You know, a lot of people nowadays don't know how to. The thing about music is you have to be disciplined and you also have to be emotionally vulnerable. And a lot of people can do one but not the other. Like the emotional part for me was not being amazing at whatever I did at first. And as a child, it's like, wait, I want to be good at this. Why am I not good at this? Why am I not good at this? You know? And Miss Long really showed me that you have to work at it. If you really want to be as good as you claim to be, you have to work at it. You know? And Miss Russo, she taught me that, yeah, you have to work at it, but also make sure you're enjoying the process. You know, those two things are hard to balance. They are very hard to balance. But to be a musician, you kind of have to find one, regardless. So yeah, those are my first two instructors. Then my eighth grade year, I had Mr. Castleberry or Dr. Castleberry. I'm not sure right now, but he gave me the room to really explore those two concepts of emotional vulnerability as well as discipline. And so I'm also very grateful for him for giving me that room and giving me the opportunity and the information to pursue those two things to become the musician I am today. And so my last instructor for the past 4 years has been Miss Geely Bell. I made one ensemble my freshman year. Low key think that might have been a mistake, but hey, happy mistake. Um, she held me to a standard that I had never experienced before. I mean, she was also disciplined, but she was like, I know you can, so you're gonna do it. That type of thing. And for someone to have that much faith in you is kind of, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. So I remember my freshman year, for the end of the year test, we had to do all 12 major scales, full range, in the 12 harmonic minor. No, no, no. She made us do, I remember now. She made us do all 12 major scales, all 12 minor scales, harmonic minor, and melodic minor. So mind you, 12 times 4 is 48, 48 different. I had to do that math real quick. 48 different scales that we had to do for this end of the year exam. And my little freshman mind was like, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We ain't never did this before. But I did it. And I did well. And I think that was like one of the moments like, you can do so much more than you ever thought you could do, Louis. So just be open to it. And so I thank you, Ms. Bell, for that and all the many opportunities to excel that she's given me. And now I'm here at Southeastern Louisiana University with Dr. Schwartz as my director. I'm in the Wind Symphony, and I'm so excited to really push myself this year because I've had challenges in the past, but I've always been able to rise up. But this is a whole different level. I'm trying to get ready for graduate school, and I'm trying to also excel, like kind of make my name for myself as a musician. So I'm open to whatever comes my way. Okay, accomplishments. Throughout this, I've also been talking about my accomplishments a little. But yeah, let me start off with oh, uh, okay. So in my seventh grade year, I made honor band, right? I made honor band on bassoon. My eighth grade, I made it on saxophone. I made it on saxophone finally, and it was tenor. That was very nice. That's where I met Carson Lambert. He's oh my gosh, amazing musician, and he's a good person. Bro has it all for real. Um, and yeah, that was the first time we met. And then I went to high school. I didn't make honor band my freshman year. I didn't make all state my freshman year. I didn't make all state or honor band my sophomore year. But these are also the years that I had that faulty saxophone that I was talking about. In eighth grade, seventh grade. Yeah, I had a really bad saxophone, and hadn't been taking lessons at this point. I was taking lessons, but I oh I forgot about my lessons teachers. I'm so sorry, y'all. Uh, I'm so sorry. My first lessons teacher was hold on, Dr. White or Mr. White. He was in Mississippi and he gave me a couple of like lessons, just beginning of saxophone, how to develop tone, overtones, that type of thing, just like base level saxophone playing. And so, yeah, thank you very much for that, Mr. White. I'm not sure where he is now, but my second one was oh Lord, forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Oh, forgive me. Forgive me. Oh, forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Ooh, forgive me. Forgive. Y'all, help. Help. I can't find her. Okay, it was a woman. She was my first like darn, I feel so bad. Viola feels so bad. Hold on. Kara. There you go, Kara. Yes. She kind of entered me. As Kara entered me into the world of professional saxophone. Up until this point, it was just like, okay, I'm just playing saxophone in the band. But then like she showed me like, oh, there's layers. There's layers to this. This ain't no game. Like they get serious. They get real serious. And so, yeah, she introduced me to that. She showed me that, like, altissimo, like, people just play altissimo like it's normal range. And I was kind of like, up until that point, I was like, oh, I don't need altissimo. But yeah, she really set the basis for my next lessons teacher to come in, Dr. Lemoyne. Dr. Lemoyne studied with Griff Campbell. So did Cara. Griff Campbell at LSU School of Music, and that is a very competitive environment. And so I'm very grateful that I got two wonderful teachers that are very understanding and really helped me figure all this stuff out. Um, but they were also tough. Like they didn't let me slack. I love Dr. Lemoyne. He really helped me get to where I am today. And he was also the one that caught that my saxophone wasn't kind of the best. And so I switched saxophones about my sophomore, like the end of my sophomore year. And that's when I made All State. My junior year, I made All State for the first time. I was third chair, I think. Third chair alto. Shoot, I need to check that. Um, and then I made honor band, and then I did the SLU honor band as well. And all those experiences were like, wow, there's so many amazing musicians out here. It's just like, dang, I was so happy to just be a part of that. And then my senior year, I made all state as well as honor band. All amazing instructors. Those 2 years, I don't think I had a bad honor band. I was very happy with the the experiences. Yeah. I just kind of wish I locked in earlier and got to do it all 4 years, but live and learn. Okay. Now, my accomplishments. Yeah. Besides All State Honor Man, um, I played marimba this past season, in indoor percussion for our indoor percussion group, and we went to Dayton, Ohio. That was I mean, it was crazy. It was such a crazy experience. I actually started playing percussion my um sophomore year. My sophomore year, I was on glockenspiel. It was so funny. I was on glockenspiel and I played the chimes, and that was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, but I was very happy that I stuck with it, even though there was many days that I wanted to cry, and I was like, "Why am I even doing this? I don't play percussion." But now I'm very happy that I did because I've made so many friends through playing percussion, and I felt like I was just more connected to the band as a whole by not, excluding the percussionist. Um, my junior year, I played a vibraphone. I think I wouldn't. I love playing marimba. Marimba's my number one. Vibraphone's a close second. I love the sound of vibraphones. It's just so like pretty. So I really enjoyed that. I was on first vibe, and for my senior year, I was on marimba. I was playing marimba three, and that marimba music was pretty hard. I mean, it was pretty hard. I mean, it was nothing that I couldn't play, but it really made me think about timing and body movements and that type of stuff that you don't really have to. You should think about it as a saxophone player, but it's not imperative. Like when you play percussion, it's a physical. It's very, very physical. So you have to be so mindful about all your body movements. And yeah, you know, if I ever get to play percussion again or do like another percussion group, I would be so happy to. Um, oh, and then my other accomplishments. This year I premiered two of my two pieces, right? So first one was a full band piece, concert band piece called "When the Cherries Blossom." You can go see that on my Instagram. It's on my YouTube as well. But yeah, "When the Cherries Blossom." That piece, I think I'm gonna have to do a whole nother podcast for that piece because Lord have mercy, it was a doozy getting to that concert. I'll tell you that it was a doozy. But it's beautiful. I feel like it came out very beautifully. For me, just being so young, but there's a lot of things that if I could go back and change, I definitely would have. And then my other piece was Sand Viper for the Medusa Quartet with Dr. Wheeler and Alexis and I think Jennifer. Let me see. Let me see. I'm sorry, I forgot their names. But yeah, the Medusa Quartet, they did an amazing job, and I'm just waiting for them to send the professional recording so I could post it because it's absolutely beautiful, stunning, stunning, right? Let's see, let's see. They don't have their names on here. Well, just go look up Medusa Quartet on Instagram. I'm sorry. I do know Dr. Wheeler's a part of it because yeah. And so that was so fun, writing music for saxophone because I actually hadn't written for saxophone that much. So surprising, right? So that was really fun, and I'm very proud to be able to say that the Medusa Quartet, hopefully, hopefully they're gonna start, getting bigger and getting more performances and stuff, and um, do more composite premieres and stuff. Um, I'm so excited to see what they do. And so I'm very grateful for both of those opportunities with the Dutchtown Sound Wind Ensemble, as well as the Medusa Quartet. Um, let's see. Besides that, I mean, yeah, I have another piece called "The Waltz of the Rabbit" that I submitted to a competition, but I didn't win it. But it was also they gave me really good feedback that was, kind of swimming in my head, but the fact that someone else said it to me kind of confirmed what I had been thinking. Um, yeah. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything else. Goals. Okay. So my goals for the next couple of years is to attend graduate school at Berkeley School of Music, Conservatory of Music in Boston. Yes, Berkeley School of Music in Boston. Because they work with a lot of contemporary in the sense that newer. They work with newer music as well as contemporary music, and they have a little classical music, but you don't really go to Berkeley for classical music. Um, and so they also have recording studios. Love that. I really want to learn how to, um, use a DAW and do recording setups, microphones, and that type of stuff. It's kind of frustrating when you don't have someone to kind of tell you what to use and what not without being biased about trying to sell you something. So, yeah, that's my goal for composition. Because I'm an undergraduate, or I'm getting my undergraduate in music education. So I could figure something out between those two things, and I'm just gonna keep putting myself out there. And yeah, looking for opportunities. My current project right now, is a musical called "The Box They Built for Me." I'll make another video about that, but it's gonna be a two-act musical, three scenes each act, and I hopefully want to get it read so I could include it part of um portfolio for um Berkeley. And then also, get some like other performances like, clarinet duet, clarinet, flute thing, just other performances that I like, solo, soprano, choir music, just diversify my portfolio as much as possible. But then also I kind of need to get into electronic music. Like a lot of composers like, oh, leave the electronics alone, leave the It's 2025. In the big 2025, are we really scared of computers? Nah, not me, not me. So I'm really I need to find out a way to just kind of start off basic and then slowly integrating my compositional ideas into like the form of digital music, and just because as like diversify, and then but also make sure you're bringing the same quality to everything that you do, you know, especially when applying to art schools, So yeah, that's my goals. And this has been the first episode of Practice Room Procrastination. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, and then go follow my Instagram if you see this on YouTube, or if you see this on Instagram. I'm not sure how you would see this on Instagram, but if you see this on Instagram, come and like and subscribe on the YouTube. All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a good day. Bye.